Hello, I'm Daniel, and welcome to the Emunah Project. We here at the Emunah Project are continuing with our series of videos with respect to inspiration, education, information, guidance, advice to converts, Noahides, and returnees to Judaism. We are in the days of Chol Hamoed Pesach, the intermediary days between the first two holy days of Passover and the last two holy days of Passover, and still with the taste of that Seder in my mouth, I'm reminded of something that Rabbi Levi Yitzhak of Berditchev said. At first, it sounds a little weird, like many statements of the great Gedolim, the great leaders of the Hasidic movement. Sometimes they'll say things, and at first glance they'll say, "What?" But at my first Seder, I was with a Hasidic family, and they were very kind and loving, and it was a joyful and joyous Seder, and it was a real inspiration, and my heart and my soul was just filled with such wonder. And someone mentioned something in passing about the stubbornness of Pharaoh. God hardened Pharaoh's heart again and again. And Rabbi Levi Yitzhak of Berditchev was once quoted as saying, "I envy Pharaoh." You're thinking, how could this tzaddik, this big gadol, this Rabbi Levi Yitzhak of Berditchev, one of the greats, the Torah giant, he envies Pharaoh? What's going on? Rabbi Levi Yitzhak was quoted as saying, "How I envy Pharaoh." What a Kiddush HaShem, what a sanctification, a glorification of God's name, his stubbornness begat. It takes a gadol, it takes a great person to see that. The stubbornness of Pharaoh, his refusal to stare facts in the face, to see when he was down, even though it was brought on by the Creator. It's seen even as a bad thing. He's seen as not a friend to the Jewish people. But what a sanctification, what a Kiddush HaShem, a sanctification of God's name was because of his stubbornness. Yes, God hardened his heart, but he was no great guy, and he added his own little twist. He took it a little overboard, maybe. But a great Torah sage like Rabbi Levi Yitzhak of Berditchev was able to see that, like everything that comes from God, everything is for the best, even the stubbornness of Pharaoh, which caused great suffering, ultimately was for the greater good. His stubbornness brought plague after plague after plague, and even after he kicked the Jews out of Egypt, chased them to the Sea of Reeds, saw the waves part, his charioteers followed them through the waters, never gave up, and then his horse and rider were thrown into the sea, as it says in the Song at the Sea, horse and rider hurled into the sea. That stubbornness, as nasty and as cruel as it was, served the ultimate good of glorifying God's name, gave us the great lesson of Yetzias Mitzrayim, the Exodus of Egypt, which eventually led to us being at Sinai, led to the Torah, and led to the creation of the Israelites, and eventually what we know as the Jewish people now. And that's why Rabbi Levi Yitzhak said, "How I envy Pharaoh." What a great Kiddush HaShem that his stubbornness begat. We're going to be doing more videos along these lines. Please come back. Please watch. Please learn. And until next time, on behalf of the Emunah Project, I'm Daniel, and thank you too much.